Okay, the way to answer numbers 5 through 9 on the Chapter 6 test was by the Venn diagram we did in class. You should have copied this and it should have been in your notes. However, I am going to go over it again. Now, this Venn diagram is done with squares. This square represents all the group of quadrilaterals. So let's visualize that all quadrilaterals that exist live inside this square or four-sided figure. So all quadrilaterals live in here. Inside the group of quadrilaterals, there is a special type of quadrilateral called a parallelogram. Now, not all quadrilaterals are parallelograms, but the ones that live inside of here are parallelograms. As you recall, parallelograms are four-sided figures that have opposite pairs of sides that are parallel and opposite pairs of sides that are congruent. Opposite angles are congruent. So there's special characteristics that a parallelogram has. So within the group of parallelograms, there's a special type of parallelogram that is called a rectangle. Rectangles have 90-degree angles and their opposite sides are congruent. Then there's another special type of parallelogram called a rhombus. The rhombus has all four sides congruent and opposite angles congruent. Now, a rectangle and a rhombus together form a square. So a square has all the characteristics a rectangle has and all the characteristics a rhombus has. Like a rhombus, a square has all congruent sides. Like a rectangle, it has 90-degree angles. So it's a combination of both. Trapezoids are another special type of quadrilateral. They are not in the group of parallelograms. So trapezoids are not parallelograms because trapezoids only have one pair of parallel sides. Isosceles trapezoids are a special type of trapezoid that has congruent legs and congruent base angles. And then we have the kite. The kite is not a parallelogram. It is a special type of quadrilateral that has consecutive sides, pairs of consecutive sides congruent. Now, quadrilaterals are just general four-sided figures. Parallelograms have opposite sides parallel and congruent. Diagonals bisect each other. Opposite angles are congruent. Consecutive angles are supplementary or add up to 180. Rectangles have diagonals that are congruent. They have four right angles. Rhombus have four congruent sides. Rhombus have diagonals that bisect the opposite angles. Diagonals are perpendicular. In a trapezoid, one pair of parallel sides, like we said. In the isosceles trapezoid, base angles are congruent. Diagonals are congruent. Legs are congruent. In the kite, diagonals are perpendicular, and diagonals bisect opposite angles. That's why this arrow is pointing that way. Two pairs of consecutive congruent sides. One pair of opposite angles are congruent.